Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Princess Leah, and this is Mr. Grandma Tony Popsicle coming through to say hello as well. Mr. Grandma Tony Popsicle, aka my Grandma Tony, aka someone else's grandmother spirit that wants to come in and make themselves seen and known. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm here to tap into the energies for the messages from Spirit, from the gracious, omnipresent, divine, to help us move more in the direction of this road to conscious love, learning how to do our best to heal the heart of the divine masculine and the sacred feminine through conscious love. If you are a returning family and friend, welcome back, beloved. I always appreciate your support. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that like button if this message resonates with you on your way in or out. I always appreciate that too. And if you feel called to be a part of our Itty Bitty Vibe tribe, do subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know whenever I do go live. So it is the week of July 13th, halfway through July already. And we are in the pre-shadows of the new moon in Cancer, which will be peaking tomorrow at the time of this reading, July 14th. And this new moon in Cancer is helping us look at what new cycles we want to continue. What cycles do we want to carry on? What cycles do we need to end and begin in order to be on the path of conscious love? Not all beginnings are good, not all endings are bad. And sometimes we have to end something that needs to end, that's not in alignment, that our full moon in Capricorn helped us recognize what that is, so that we can begin and make space. It's like cleaning out your closet so you have more space for more clothes, kind of thing. If you know you need to get new clothes, but you have too much clutter in your closet already, then you can't get more clothes. The universe can't open up for you. Actually, I hear that differently. Spirit corrected me. The universe is always opening up for you. You just have to meet it where it's at too. And if your heart's closed off, if your closet's too full, if your cup is empty, then you can't pour into anything else until you can receive. So that's what's coming through. Maybe it'll make more sense once we tap into our heart chakra, sound bowl, and tap into more of the cards, the energies of this week too, to help us move through. So you can place your hand on your heart, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and begin. There are images that are coming through my head, but they're not turning into full sentences. The energy of grace, forgiveness, patience, to yourself, to others, the energy of wisdom, courage, and serenity. The energy of doing something differently than what you've done in the past. What does that look like? That's how you create new cycles. That's how you create new patterns. That's how you get out of old loops. Cancer, that this moon, new moon is ruled by the moon, actually. The moon is the divine feminine energy of intuition and emotion, spiritual connection, and feminine essence of receptivity, creativity, sensuality. The new moon is also when the sky is the darkest. So that's also the dark depths of our emotions that maybe are uncomfortable to feel or see, to acknowledge them with grace, to not punish ourselves for feeling the way that we feel, to accept ourselves as we are, and to understand that we are still on this human journey, feeling, being, and Cancer is the sign, I call it the mother of the zodiac, that represents our family, our home, our lineage, ancestry, past lives. So what kind of generational loops are we getting out of? What kind of generational karmic ties and patterns and curses and cycles are we ending so that we can begin healthier cycles? What does that look like? Thank you, Spirit. This card here, look at this. This card wanted to flip over. My mistakes help me learn and grow, from the affirmation pile. My mistakes help me learn and grow. The things that we are doing. And then this card fell off of my altar, which is the Earth Star Chakra. To Izzy Ivy and her studies, this is the very first chakra that we don't quite see or hear about often. We usually consider the first chakra the root. The Earth Star Chakra is the initiation. It's the integration from the spirit world realm into the physical realm. The initiation of your awakening. The initiation of your remembering, healing. Healing really is just remembering who you are wholeheartedly. When we stop believing that we are broken, when we stop believing that we need to be fixed, when we stop believing that others are broken and need to be fixed, when we stop criticizing ourselves, the initiation, the integration of our whole perfect self is what wants to be seen and acknowledged this week. And the mistakes that we have made in this lifetime so far have helped us learn about what we want, what we don't want, who we are not, and grow into who it is that we truly are. And I had a fortune cookie yesterday, and my fortune note wasn't quite a fortune, but it was more of a really deep, like a deep journal entry that I need to reflect on. And it said, the biggest mistake one could ever make is to do nothing, or something like that. And so when you hear this, mistakes help us learn and grow. When I hear it, and then I hear this message from the fortune cookie that the biggest mistake you can make is to do nothing. That's really what is nothing. Is learning considered nothing? Is growing considered nothing? No. If you learn from your mistakes, then you are not doing nothing. If you move, if you are choosing, but if you stand without action, if you do nothing, I'm hearing to advocate for yourself, to stand up for yourself, to allow yourself to initiate, to integrate into this soul expansion journey. That's really the biggest mistake we can make. And I'm hearing even the quote, I think it was LeBron James that may have said it, that said, you only miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So that might resonate with someone. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Wanted to try to be in reverse, so not trusting, I'm hearing, trying to control the destined, fated outcome, trying to I just heard take shortcuts, but I'm even hearing the Wheel of Fortune coming in reverse might have to do with this mistakes, the mistakes in your life, the mistakes that we make on a daily basis, because we are still human figuring it out. We're still human falling over our own feet. We're still understanding who we are and the essence of life and the purpose of experiencing joy. The purpose of this life is to experience joy. And unlearning the false agreements that have been placed in our conditioning of these old, outdated, toxic cycles for generations of who we think we are, the boxes we've been placed in, the colors, the lines that we cannot color outside of, and the power that we feel we lose every time we feel controlled by a circumstance that is out of our hands. And we feel powerless because we feel we have to abide by these agreements. But the mistakes, really, as much as they might feel like they're not helpful, it really is still designed to lead you to your 10 of Cups, your happily ever after. The road to conscious love isn't an easy necessarily road, because when we have to unwire, rewire, unlearn these false agreements and beliefs, when we have to fight, it feels like, to prove of our worthiness, when we have to fight to express our truth, as my throat chakra wants to close up, when we have to fight to unblock what has been blocked in our way of this 10 of Cups happily ever after, with the High Priestess here at the bottom of the deck. Beautiful. we may have continued, maybe that's the biggest mistake we do make, is thinking we have to prove, is thinking we have to fight, is thinking we have to earn people's approval, or we have to earn enough acceptance, or, earn opinions that are more delightful in our character regard of what other people think about us. We feel like we have to constantly compete and compare, because this is a scarcity lack mentality of not feeling good enough, and that's what we're being initiated into, is the Ten of Cups, the High Priestess. We're being initiated out of this glass half empty mindset. We're being initiated out of feeling like we are not good enough. Therefore, nothing in this world is good enough. Therefore, it's not going to be good enough, because we're tapping into recognizing that we are worthy of our Ten of Cups, of our happily ever after, of what it is that we wish and dream, because that's what we're being initiated into. We're learning how to. High Priestess is exactly this affirmation. She takes her mistakes and she turns them into wisdom. The pillars of the dark and the light represent the light and shadow aspects of ourselves, the duality of ourselves in our experience. She takes and understands, radically accepts, the radical acceptance that what she's been through was not in vain. It was a part of that wheel of fortune. It was all a part for her to learn exactly who she is, exactly who she's meant to be, exactly where she's going, with the Queen of Crystals under there. And that's what helps her. That's what builds her. That's what brings her into this abundance and security. That's where she finds security, even when she feels mentally stuck in the path that she's on. When she feels disempowered or limited in her own mental beliefs, she remembers the abundance that she is. She remembers the High Priestess that she is. She remembers the divine being that she is. She remembers that she is an extension of source energy, gracious, omnipresent, divine love. She remembers that none of this is in vain. Everything that she's had to learn is what she's needed to learn so that she can move into her wholeness. I love this. The Journey to Wholeness, number 33. Water overflow. That gives me Seven of Cups energy. The Infinite, 1249. And Harmonic Flight, 29. This is about the journey to your wholeness, the road to conscious love. Because Harmonic Flight, the Ten of Cups, these are cards of divine love. The journey to wholeness, even the mirroring numbers, the Ascended Master numbers 33, they're the reflection, the mirror to each other. The mirror to each other. This is a journey. Divine love, divine counterpart, twin flame journey, however you want to call it, is a journey of becoming your true, whole, authentic, highest self. And your partner doing the same. Your counterpart doing the same. That's where the Ten of Cups is reached. That's where the happily ever after is reached, is on the journey of the infinite ego deaths, spiritual rebirths, over and over and over. You are infinitely, with the infinity here, infinity sign in both of them, you are infinite beings, eternal beings. This is eternal love. The new moon in Cancer is taking us. I see 10:01 on the clock, which is a palindrome. Again, where it's the same forward as it is backwards. 33. Twin flame, you looking right at yourself, your highest self, your highest being. You're looking and seeing your highest, truest self in the eyes of your beloved. But it's a journey to look at the shadows and the lights. It's the journey to appreciate and to heal from and to radically accept the, I want to say imperfections, but then I hear Spirit say there is no such thing. But I'm hearing the imperfections, the quote unquote imperfections of that you can consider as mistakes. When you, as you are coming into alignment, infinite abundance, infinite being, you are learning how to let your cup overflow. See the abundance, see the opportunities. Let source energy pour into your cup so much so that you overflow. This is where I'm hearing this is what you can't have too much of. You can't have too much of source energy overflowing through you. Like you can have too much overflow of clothes, is what I'm hearing in the closet, like we were talking about earlier. This is a different kind of overflow. This is not a, I have too much clutter that I don't have enough room for more or better. This is, I have so much non-physical, eternal abundance flowing through me that I can, that it overflows into the people, the places, the things around me, because we are an infinite source. The water of emotions, our emotions are infinite. They will constantly be, just like this divine love is infinite, and it's constantly awakening and expanding your consciousness of what is true, what is authentic, what is real, what is not, what is. It's constantly expanding you out of old, egoic, false energies appearing real. And yes, in this lifetime, we will have an infinite amount of ego deaths and spiritual awakenings, because that is what brings us to our highest, truest, whole self. That is what we're being initiated into. That is how we can continue to expand and grow in this divine love, as we continue to remember that how beautiful we are just as we are, with our mistakes and all, with our past, choices that maybe were not in alignment with who we truly are. But now we're recognizing you don't have to fight so hard. You just have to communicate, because communication is the key. New moon in Gemini. And the fiery climax approaches, so maybe since the new moon in Gemini to the new moon in Cancer, which was about within the last month, there has been some endings, climaxes, recognitions, ego deaths, conscious expansions and awakenings, integrations, initiations of new energy, of new spiritual cellular growth. Chiron in Taurus, understanding, healing the wounds around worthiness and abundance and love, moving out of lack, moving out of fight or flight, survival, and into abundance. There is an overflow. There is an overflow, an infinite overflow of love. There is never not enough. There's always enough, more than enough. You are more than enough. You're not too much. You are perfect as you are. You're not too much and not enough. There's this scarcity mindset where we feel this oxymoron of feeling too much and not enough at the same time. And this is what's coming to an end. You have to communicate to yourself, to your inner child, to your twin, beloved. You see, the Gemini are the twins with this harmonic flight. As you are awakening to more of who you are, you have to allow yourself to close out the old cycles of who you're not anymore. As you are seeing your truest, highest self in the eyes of your beloved, as you are seeing your happily ever after in the eyes of your beloved, as you are recognizing just how perfect you are through the eyes of your beloved, through source energy as well, as you see the God in your divine counterpart. You see God, love, gracious, omnipresent, divine love in the eyes. It will awaken you. It will awaken you to the point of having to release and let false egos die, false identities, false expectations, false energies, all the fears die, the doubts die, the lack die. Who you thought you were, who you had to be in order to survive has to die in order for you to be the whole perfect being that you are and that your counterpart sees you as, and that you see your counterpart as, and that you see in this life. So what do you need to release to reach this journey to wholeness, to radically accept the mistakes in your life, the contrast in your life, and reach this beautiful Ten of Cups of harmony, of happiness that you have been dreaming of, praying for? What do you need to release? What do you need to surrender? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to let die? Gossip. Don't make assumptions. The third agreement of the 4 agreements. So we need to release gossip, eliminate gossip, because making assumptions is a setup for suffering, because we usually gossip about our assumptions. We make assumptions and believe we are right. Then we defend our assumptions and try to make others wrong. So the communication that we need needs to come from an impeccable place, a pure place, and not one of assumptions, of gossip. And that's hard. As humans, we have been, conditioned to talk about ourselves, others, to complain, to whine, to argue. That's where this 5 of Wands is coming through. As a way to feel right, as a way to feel 10:10 on the clock, as a way to feel better or more when we're feeling in that lack mentality of inferior. We feel we have to put others down. And sometimes we even put ourselves down when we're feeling in that inferior space, gossiping about ourselves, gossiping about what we're not doing right, gossiping about what we have done in the past and our mistakes in the past that make us feel unworthy of love. Eliminate it. Don't assume, because I just heard it makes an ass out of you and me. That's hilarious. 10:10 on the clock of completing of cycles. Don't take anything personally. Refuse to eat emotional poison. Gossip is emotional poison. It is. And we're all human. That's why the Four Agreements is out here, as we are learning the mistakes that we are making as part of our healing, initiation, integration, death and rebirth journey to wholeness. We are understanding. Don't beat yourself up when you recognize that you were feeding into eating emotional poison through gossip about yourself or beloveds or others. Just acknowledge with grace, because that's what the high priestess does. The high priestess is her journey to wholeness because she forgives with patience and wisdom. And even if other people might say, you're a fool to forgive, you're a fool to forget, you're a fool to give another chance, the communication between your inner being and source and your beloved counterpart are between you and source and your counterpart. You and source and your dreams. You and source and you. Whatever it is that you are connecting to. And it is easy to gossip around with other people, to want to get their opinions, to want to feel comforted and validated for these assumptions that are being made. Wanting to feel right when we're feeling powerless. It's a way to gain power when we feel powerless. But this is not a healthy way to gain power, our power back. But it feels better than feeling powerless. So how can we move in the direction of gaining our power back, of moving into alignment with our happily ever after, of our wholeness, of this divine love, and feel the overflow from the divine infinite blessings without having to gossip, without having to put others down, without having to feel hate or jealousy or resentment? That's the question. Taking things personally, what I'm hearing is don't take things personally. Because taking things personally makes you prey for predators. They can hook your attention with one little opinion and feed you whatever poison they want. Refuse to eat the poison. Wendy says, practice makes the master. Always do your best. So this isn't about perfection. Wholeness isn't about perfection. Even the high priestess realizes it's not about never making a mistake. It's not about not ever having a part of life that's uncomfortable or challenging or contrasting to what it is that you are wanting. But the resistance to it, when it comes to making assumptions, taking it personally, that's what blocks us from the flow of this infinite divine love. Communicate healthily with impeccability as best as you can. Release the gossip, release the emotional poison, release the resistance. Surrender to the journey, to your wholeness. Surrender to the journey of this divine flight of harmony, of raising your vibrations into the frequency of love instead of fear. Surrender to the infinite journey of constant death and rebirth. Communicate what you need. Communicate honestly, communicate clearly, and do your best to do it. And allow and surrender to what the endings are teaching you. between the new moon in Gemini and the full moon in Aries coming up in October-ish, there's going to be a climax that approaches, a fiery climax that approaches through your communication. And how you communicate is what will guide you, is what will lead you, is what will show you how much you are learning and growing in this initiation process, in this integration process of your wholeness, of this beautiful divine journey of conscious love. It's a beautiful read, a beautiful downloaded message. I hope this resonates. I trust that this will resonate with those who need to hear it. If it does for you, make sure you hit that like button. Thank you, Spirit, for this day as we take this message into this week. May we be able to move in harmony, move in patience, move in wisdom, move in growth, move in expansion, move in conscious love. In your gracious, omnipresent, divine path for us. And if you haven't already done so, be a part of this beautiful Vibe Tribe. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I wish you all the best this week, and until next time, I'll see you in the next moon. Peace and love. Namaste. Bye.